Hello everyone, Chris Jarzyk, your Southwest Florida Realtor with MVP Realty, coming to you from beautiful I-75 here in Southwest Florida. Have some stop and go traffic heading down to Estero, and figured I'd give an update on what's going on in the market here, give you an insight on other communities in that area, and there's going to be a lot of information in this video. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I've got the trusty microphone. Normally I don't record in the car. I assure you it's safe. I'm not staring directly into the camera. I'm looking at the road at all times. So let's get started with today's video. One thing that I don't get to mention in a lot of my other videos is the price differencing between specific areas of Southwest Florida, like so Lee County versus Collier. Cape Coral usually is the most bang for your buck. The interesting part about Southwest Florida is the further south you go towards Naples and Marco Island, the higher the dollar value goes, generally for the same product. So what you'd pay for a Shelby model up here versus, say, the Shelby in Seasons at Bonita, there's going to be a distinct price difference. So that's always something to keep in mind. You know, the areas are relative. I mean, they're both nice. They both have a lot of things to do. Very low crime. Traffic's moderate for the most part. I think they're doing some construction here. That's kind of why we're being held up and going slow. But just to get back to the Estero part, so just south of the airport, you've got a ton of communities and projects going on now. I used to play hockey down at what was then Tico Arena, which was bought by Germain and, changed that to Germain Arena. And then now Hertz owns it. So that area in particular was very underdeveloped. Florida Gulf Coast University only had 2 or 3 buildings. Now, it's a massive campus. Everything around there has been developed. You've got a Del Webb, I believe it's Tidewater, it's 55 and over. Grandeza was there already. That's a large golf course community. And Miramar Lakes was there already. They're on their final phase of doing Miramar Lakes. The prices in there are, in the million range. They go anywhere from 1.5 on up. But that's another topic we'll get into here as I merge in front of somebody from Canada. We've got a lot of Canadians coming down. So I've got a Canadian behind me and somebody from Vermont in front of me, and then Ohio on my right. So we do have a lot of people moving down there. Is a common misconception that everyone is leaving Florida because it's horrible. I see that a lot on other social platforms, TikTok and Facebook and Instagram. A lot of people love to hate on Florida. According to people that live in other states, we have hurricanes every day. You can't get insurance, car insurance through the roof, everything's expensive, rents are through the roof, and a lot of that has to do with rents and housing, supply and demand. We can touch on that a little bit later. But focusing back on Estero itself, a couple older communities. Grandeza's been there for a while. That's a really nice golf course community. Esplanade Lake Club, which I've done a video on, that's a Taylor Morrison. They're pretty much sold out there. Wild Blue has a mix of builders in it. I believe Lennar is the last one to have product in there. Wild Blue, large community, which is close-ish to Verdana Village. Verdana's rather new. I've done several videos on Verdana. That's a Pulte and Lennar homes split. So 600 home sites for Pulte and 600 for Lennar in phase 1. They're going to be doing 2 phases there, so they also have an even split with those. I'll throw those videos down in the comments section, and you can take a look at those. I will be doing a full-on Verdana informational video. That's going to give you insight on HOA fees, their amenity center, and then also their CDD fee, which people from other states that like to rip on Florida will say that every home in Florida has a CDD fee. Now, that is completely not true. CDD fees are reserved for communities, and that is essentially community development district. So when a community is being developed, they will borrow money to put in the infrastructure, roads, utilities, things like that, just to get everything ready, water, so the whole 9 yards. And with that CDD fee, it is a bond that needs to get paid back. And some communities do it in different ways, and I touched on it in Stonewater. So Stonewater has a $1,500 CDD fee a year, roughly, which goes into your taxes. That's a 30-year fee, so you'll pay that in your taxes every single year. Now, other communities may not have a CDD fee. That fee will go ahead and put into the price of the home, and you'll pay it up front, and there will be no CDD fee. So essentially, you've already paid the CDD fee in your home price. The other reason we're heading down to Estero is to check out GL Homes community. River Creek is about 550 some odd home sites, I think 554 or 555. They do not have any models currently, but they've already sold a little over 125 units in there. That was a few days ago when we sat and talked with the builder. Very nice product. They're starting in the mid-5, and we're going to see how much they've done. I know they've got roads in, but again, they don't have any models. They have some to-be-built homes that they're going to be releasing, and then they also have specs that they're doing that will be complete later on this year. We're talking November, December, and January. The nice part about GL is they don't build in random spots in their community. They take it basically street by street. So any home that you choose can go on any lot there. And the lot premiums for River Creek are fairly reasonable. They go up to about 55,000 for waterfront. It's not out of whack like some of the lot premiums for other builders. A lot premium essentially is you have your base price cost of a home. So say it's 500,000, and then you would pick your lot, which would be, your lot premium. Say you wanted to be on the water, one community might have it for 50 or 75 or 100. You're going to tack that on to your home's base price. So 550 can go to 650 real quick. GL Homes also has their own lender. With River Creek, they do have some upfront fees that go in there. You have a $1,500 irrigation fee that goes in, a $5,000 HOA amenities contribution, and then another $1,500 fee. Also, GL Homes does have a CDD fee, and the other Pulte home, which has the basically 1 acre lot sites, they do not have the CDD fee. So they've either probably rolled it into the home, or that was a development that may have been going that failed during the real estate crash of 2007-8. And it may have already had infrastructure in there. See, a lot of people will like to throw the word crash out there, that real estate market's going to crash overall. If you're not familiar with 2007, 2008 crash, that was a entirely different animal. That was based on obviously poor lending practices, no money down loan. Basically, if you had a pulse, you could get a loan, or if you made maybe $30,000, $50,000 a year, you could do a no income stated loan. All type of predatory loan processes came into play with the crash in 2007, 2008. A lot of those were adjustable rate mortgages, which people today are trying to say that the crash that is imminent for this market is going to be worse than last market. I can tell you honestly, very little ARMs were even done during this last housing boom. At one point, and again, I'm not a licensed mortgage broker, I'm not quoting any rates, but from the research that I've done, and you can go check it out on Fannie Mae's website, they have the numbers side by side. At certain points, adjustable rate mortgage was higher than it would be for a 30-year fix. So why would you do an adjustable versus having a 30-year fix? The difference between 2007 and 8, or that whole window boom there from 04 to 08 prior to the crash, and this window of time that we're in now, is interest rates were extremely low. I have people that are at 2.5. Most of them are sub 3% rate. The highest maybe like 3.5, 3.8-ish. Not a lot of people are walking away from that and are not having trouble paying that mortgage. And a lot of them, in the difference again, back then, no money down. This time around, 3% rate on a $500,000 house. They're putting $100,000, $200,000, sometimes $300,000 down. They have a $200,000 mortgage at a 3% rate for 30 years fixed. People will say, oh, well, they're upside down in their home. If the market goes down 10%, then they'll be upside down, or 20 or 30 or whatever it may be. I always tell people, unless you're flipping, real estate is a long game. You're in your home most of the time, 3 to 5 years. I mean, yeah, there's some outliers where you're going to have to move or job change or divorce, something happens. But for the most part, unless you're flipping, which you're not using a mortgage anyway, most flippers that I know use cash, you're not struggling to pay a 3% loan on $200,000. People also come at me and say, well, the rates or insurance went up, taxes went up. Now, mind you, none of these people are from Florida, so they have no idea what's going on in a Florida market. Real estate is, again, hyper local. Yes, there are areas that will dip 15, 20, 18%. As far as Southwest Florida goes, and we'll talk '08 crash, we had more than 4 million plus homes on the market. Right now, we're barely scraping nationwide, little over 1 million. So supply and demand definitely comes into play here, and that's always something to keep in mind. And another thing, having worked with REO Properties, my old business partner, there were 3 of us at one point when we were with Remax back in the day. Banks aren't flooding the market like they used to. When the initial foreclosure run happened, a lot of these banks were releasing property and flooding the market. So you had a ton of properties to choose from. You had a lot of people buying cash. And with a lot of product on the market, what does that do? It drives down the price. Banks wised up and got smart and said, okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to hold the properties 7 to 14 days after doing repairs, mind you. So now they would go in, do repairs, and then put the property on the market for a first-time home buyer, and you would have to wait 14 days. It would have to pass 14 days for an investor with cash to come up. So essentially they dictated and slowed down the market, gradually releasing properties. And when you don't have a ton of properties on the market, what happens? The prices slowly ticked up. They did repairs, there was fewer homes on the market, and you had to wait as an investor, and that basically made prices tick up, at least here in my area. So in Southwest Florida, that was the game that was going on. I'm assuming that's nationwide because they're not going to do area-specific stuff. Banks aren't in the real estate game as a whole. So that's essentially what took place. And when people say, oh, there's going to be foreclosures in your area, it's going to jack the market up, we still have not a surplus of homes. We have the opposite. We still do not have a lot of product on the market. As of the last 7 days, around 1,100 properties went on the market, and then 1,500 went pending. So we're still outpacing what goes on the market. So if you see behind me here, if you're happening to look past me, we're passing Grandeza. We're in this Estero area now, passing FGCU. So this particular area, a lot of golf course communities. Also forgot to mention Stony Brook, which is a golf course community there. That's already well established. In this area, you have Gulf Coast Town Center, which it's not an outlet mall, but Miramar Outlets is the outlet mall. So you have Miramar Outlets, has a plethora of shopping and restaurants. Gulf Coast Town Center, and I'm doing that because it's behind me already. Just south of here, you'll hit Coconut Point, which is another set of restaurants and shops. We have Hertz Arena, the airport's just north of us, FGCU, which I'm at the light right here. Large college campus, a lot of college students here. This area literally has blown up. And then I'm looking at another phase of Miramar Lakes, on the opposite side of where the large Miramar Lakes setup is. Miramar Lakes has, I believe it's a 600 plus acre lake that you can have a watercraft on, and it does connect to the lake at Esplanade. So if you purchase in Esplanade and you live in Esplanade, the Taylor Morrison community, you can go over into Miramar You just can't use the amenities and things like that because that's reserved for, obviously, Miramar. And if you're a Miramar resident, you can't, use the amenities for Esplanade, but you can still use the lake. And another common thing, I'm not sure if wherever you may be watching this, we recently had a alligator attack, and I caution people who are not from here. I mean, attacks aren't daily. A lot of people also like to throw at me, like, you guys have hurricanes daily. It's horrible down there. We do not have hurricanes daily, just so everyone knows. It was a 10-foot alligator that was going after a dog. I don't know why the person was walking their dog so close to the water. I always caution everybody, just assume, I mean, if it's a body of water in Florida, just assume that there is a gator in it. You have to be very, very cautious. Very rarely do they swim in the Gulf of Mexico. I mean, there's been a couple videos out there of gators in Sanibel. Reject that call, sorry. There's been a few, gators swimming on Sanibel and around Captiva, but again, far and few between. If you are not a Florida resident and you're thinking of becoming a Florida resident, just be cautious of that. If you happen to see that video, a lot of people are saying the gator went for the woman. You clearly see it was going for the small dog. Generally, they do not go raging after humans, but that's a whole nother discussion. If you see that video, it's very sad. It's not a common occurrence down here. So as I'm coming up to Hertz Arena, I just passed Tidewater. That's the Del Webb inspired 55 plus community. It has the 3rd ranked amenity center in the country. And then Grande's is off to my right, which is another beautiful golf course community. Older homes, not new construction. There's benefits to going with an older home that's already established in an established community. A lot of people do want new construction now. This way you can sort of pick and choose your design, your colors. There's going to be a lot of design options that you can do, which, with GL Homes, they have their design center. It's not on site yet, but once everything is being built up, once they put their models up, they'll have their design center on site. I'm going to try and take you guys through there and give you a tour of a few different communities. Welcome back, everyone. So if you're just joining me, you've skipped across all of my car talk and you've landed here at Corkscrew Estates. Corkscrew Estates is close to Hertz Arena, as I was talking about. Plenty of things to do. They do have music on, so in order to put this video out, I'm going to have to just film it. No walk and talk on this one. I know you guys are probably upset. It's a very big house, over 3,000 square feet. Very, very nice. Corkscrew Estates only has 3 home sites left that they're building specs on. I'll give you a little bit more information, after this home tour. So no walk and talk because they have music. We'll pick our own for this. Let you guys go on in and take a look. And enjoy the video. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for checking out the home tour of the Oakley model here at Corkscrew Estates. I'm going to go ahead and put a separate home tour up on the channel so that you can see just the Oakley without any of the before and after talk of this video. Earlier in the video, I alluded to going to check out Verdana Village. It was in, my best interest to get out there and do that, but I just could not swing it today. The Corkscrew home tour, Corkscrew Estates, and that home tour did take up a lot of time. Did try to get into River Creek, but they're doing a lot of construction. There was a security guy there, and he said that all I could do was just do a quick turnaround in there. They are building the models. They are going to be starting the amenities center, and I will be putting up a video, actually 4 videos of GL homes. Well, so I do apologize if you were kind of scrolling on the scroll bar looking for Verdana Village or River Creek or any of the other ones I alluded to in the beginning. You're not going to find it, but I promise that those videos will come out. So like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and one of those notifications that you get for the channel is going to be River Creek video and a Verdana Village update video and full-on informational video. So I want to thank you guys for checking out today's video. Always stop back, like I said, like and subscribe, and if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call or shoot me a text, 239-823-1685.